The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the April 13th, the wonderful Wednesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. And let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. We need not make that one little 2x4 shift. It means we can find a gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We're going to go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I just past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this. During this next 60 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. You can dial on in, 877-927-6648. If you can't dial in, we've got you covered there, too. Go ahead, send me an email. Send it to steve@tfnn.com. And inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, inside our Tiger's Den, any ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on wonderful Wednesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, we got all the U.S. indices trading to the upside. You've got the Dow up 248 points at 0.7%. S&P's up 40 points, 0.9. NASDAQ 100, 237, nearly 1 7/10%. The same for the Russell. That's 33 points. Semis are up 2 3/10%. That's $71. And that's where we are going to start our day by going out and speaking with Brent. Brent, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great, Steve. How are you?
Excellent. Thanks so much for asking. And it is the semiconductors that we are going to go ahead and take a look at. Specifically, I believe we will take a look at the SMH, the ETF for it, currently trading out at 246. Did complete a TD9 count bottom pattern yesterday. Never got down to test that swing point from the trading day of March the 14th out there. But you could get a rejection today if price were to close above 246.84 or 246.11. Now, the volume today is already 5.2 million shares. And the volume that was going against on March 14th is about 12 million. So it's kind of hard to make a determination whether it's going to be a light volume rejection of that swing point or not. But Brent, so that's just kind of the overview of the SMHs. How can I best help you?
Yeah, you're kind of touching on what my general question was going to be, and it ties into the market in general. But I know you talked about this is getting down to that TD9 count, and you know, we have this move today. And then also you talked about at the top of the hour update about the VIX.
Yes.
The market in general, it seems like we could be getting to some kind of a bottom here. That's what I wanted to have you go over in this, I guess,
Sure.
in particular, but then also just in general, the market.
So there's no question, Brent, that if we take a look at indices, there's all kinds of TD9 count signals out there. If I take a look at the NASDAQ 100 and I take a look at the top 8 instruments out there, I know at least 4 of them have got TD9 count bottoms, Apple being one of them. And so the question is, when are we going to get, are we going to get a change in trend signal? So specifically with regard to the SMH, and I'll just simply expand out the daily time frame chart right now. So as we touched upon, if price get close above 246.84, do that with less than 11.6 million shares, we'd have a rejection of that swing point on lighter volume. That would be another nice thing to have. And what that would just simply suggest to you and I is that price should go target its oscillator and change line, which is a 251.94. If price can close above that, this is the SMH, is the daily time frame, then we should see a move up to 265 or to 271. But do we have a valid bottom where we had a prior bottom and kind of a double bottom-ish type of thing? The answer is absolutely for the SMHs. So What do we need to see in order to really suggest that there is at least some type of short-term change in trend? And one of those things, Brent, when I take a look at the intraday charts, would be to take out some resistance levels. So on the 195-minute chart, I'll simply expand this so that we're all looking at the same thing. We can see that price has not been above that red oscillator and change line. Now, this 195-minute chart, the candle just finished at 1245, so the next one will not be until today's close. But if we did see a close above the red oscillator and change line, that's at 246.68. That would be another signal of an attempt of that we might have a nice bottom here. If we go down to a 15-minute time frame chart, the 15-minute time frame chart generated a TD9 count top out here. So that stopped right at the breakdown level of 247.80. Now, normally we don't look at 15-minute charts to make our signal calls. But now we take a look at the chart patterns that are out here. Makes sense why price stopped where it did. And now what we're going to do is if price can take out 247.80, because you got the TD9 count pattern on the 15-minute chart, price is pulled back to where it should, which is that green oscillator and change line. This is a bullish test as long as price remains above that green line, currently printing at 245.83. So close above 247.80 on a 15-minute basis, Brent, is going to be another kind of check the box that we might see a bottom. On a 30-minute chart, it would require a close above 250.33. 250.90 would be the level on the 65-minute time frame chart. And I'd say those would be the three time frames that, or the four time frames, the 195, 65, 30, and 15 that I'd be watching for to assist us with that signal call. Any questions about what I've shared so far?
No, that was great, Steve. You really covered all the different time frames you're watching, levels to be watching. I know we just have to take this a step at a time, level at a time, and just see how it progresses. But no, that was very helpful.
Perfect. So it's got all the makings, or many of the makings of a bottom out here. And now we just need to see some resistance levels fail. And those are the areas that we just talked about. So is there anything else that I can do for you, Brent? I guess I would just ask you to maybe go over how does this fit into your overall just seasonal charting? Would it make sense that we'd be getting some kind of a bottom here, and like we're just going to May, or what are your thoughts on where we're at and where we could potentially be going? Sure. So let's use this cool tool that I have out here, and this is by the folks at SeasonX, and they put together really a very cool seasonal tool. So, what should we use the S&P 500 to help us answer that question, Brent?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So let's use the S&P 500. And here on this chart, this is just taking a look at the last 6 years. Let's just start with the last 72 years, which is with the data that I have. Now, I can go ahead. For the last 72 years, I don't really need to remove the March 2020, February to March 2020 level, but they do have a tool here that allows us to do that. But if we take a look at this, the S&P 500, and that the vertical line is right where we're at right now. Seasonally speaking, the market should continue to move higher. Granted, we're approaching the May time period. It's usually the middle of May where we see that first decline, not necessarily May 1st. And so we are in a favorable time period. The most important favorability, if you will, on this chart, Brent, is look at the very bottom right-hand side. And it lists the months, and it shows you what their average return by month is. April and November and December. Those are the top 3 months of the year out here. So we are in a very favorable period. It would make sense with all these TD9 count bottoms that have formed out here. So to answer your question, the question is we're in a favorable seasonal time period. Oh, Brent, we're going to a break here. Hold on through that, and I'll come back to you and make sure we've answered all your questions. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. So, Brent, help me answer that question in everybody's mind. Can Stevie walk and chew gum at the same time? We prove the answer is no, because I was not showing that Season X chart. So the only person I was speaking to was myself. My apology about that, Brent. We have that up on the screen right now. This is the 72-year seasonal pattern for the S&P 500. And you can see that, generally speaking, the markets should move higher from here. And again, if you take a look at that bottom right, you'll see April as one of the stronger months of the 12, November and December being the other 2 out here. So we're definitely in a very favorable seasonal cycle. What additional information, Brent, sorry about that I was talking about that and not showing that on the screen. What additional information can I help you with?
Oh, that's all good, Steve. I was going to tell you when I came back that I wasn't seeing that, but you took care of it. And I heard your explanation of it was great, and that's, now I can see it. It's all good.
Perfect. Okay.
I really appreciate everything you do every day, Steve, and in particular your help today. And as always, but just have a great Easter weekend, a great day.
Thank you, Brent.
And I'm sure I'll have a chance to talk to you in the near future.
Sounds great. You do the same as well. That was Brent in Martinez, California. We do have some questions. There was a question that came in. I'm going to go ahead and change my. Actually, let me see if I CRWD. I'm going to just see if that even pops up here. CRWD. I don't think it does. I think CRWD is. Was that crowd? Yeah, CRWD. It's too new of an instrument to pull up the seasonal pattern. But we're going to go ahead and pull up. Let me get my other charts going here. CRWD. This is for one of our Denners. S&P. Okay, so S&P. Let me get this going on CRWD on my black background charts as well. I think that's what's going to pop up first. There we go. So we take a look at CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike right now is trading above the top of its daily profile. And that's as long as it closes above 230.93. It's above the top of its weekly profile and consolidating inside the monthly. So close above 230.93 is going to be suggestive. I will move to 277.18. Now let's go change screens here. We'll go out to our white background, 8-panel charts out here. On a monthly basis, has had a nice Rhodes Momentum Indicator. Top price came right back to support. Bottom of its profile and held. The work has been done. You are going to form this week a TD9 count top out here. And so now the cool thing about this is if next week you get a close above this week's high, whatever that is, tells you about a strong momentum move to the upside. We have a TD9 count pattern that is failing today on the daily time frame, and that requires is a close above 231.50 out there. So CrowdStrike looks good. The weekly says just caution, but not to actually take any action here, because the daily, of course, it depends upon the daily. The daily negates that TD9 count pattern close above the top of that profile. It really does suggest that price wants to continue to move higher. But the weekly is the one S&P that you're going to have to focus on next week and the week after and so forth. But of course, a close above that will tell you about a strong momentum move to the upside. So thanks for the request out there. I hope that helps you out. I think I've taken care of everything inside the charts. No, we've got Dan wants to take a look at INMB. So let's go punch that up on the screen and see what this is, INMB. And the question is, very interested in oncology companies and NK cell therapies. And those are those killer cell therapies out there, and seemingly with best-in-class results in early trials. Dan, have you picked up that Tony Robbins book? It's really a great book, and you're so into the biotech stuff, the work that's being done with the stem cell stuff. It's really quite interesting out there. One of the companies I actually tried getting in touch with because I've got a real serious case of tennis elbow. I mean, it's really serious. It hasn't gone away. But anyway, back to INMB out here. I'm just talking to myself. You've got a nice TD9 count bottom on the daily time frame. Price with inside its profile. It's dealing with a resistance level. That's the center of that profile. That is priced out at 820. If price can clear 820, you're off to 875 to 918. You clear 918, and you're headed up to 1066, which is the top of the weekly profile out there. As I look to anything else on these charts out here, really not a whole lot more that I see that can assist us out here. So, and this could turn into an A to B equals CD to the upside. So I hope that helps you out. Got it. The allegations against him. Well, okay. Look, there's a ton of information inside that book. I think you would really appreciate that. So if you just take a look at it from the information that's being provided, and because you're so knowledgeable, you might be able to help all of us clear through some of the things that are being discussed in that book. In any event, that's Immune Bio out there. And let's go to a couple of requests that have come in by email. Let me make sure I'm on the right screen. I am. The first one was Shopify. SHOP is the ticker symbol out here. And this is for David H. in Panama City. And David says, we've got the shop 620 calls expired tomorrow. Would you give me your TD9 count, please? Do you think you can take out yesterday's high of 644? So we take a look at Shopify. I'm just going to expand out the daily time frame chart. You've got a TD9 count bottom. That is completing today. Your issue is this thing is dealing with resistance. And not until it can clear resistance, the red oscillator and change line, 607.83, well, we know price can get up to 644. You're asking me, do I think get to take out yesterday's high of 644 by tomorrow? Let's go take a look at some short-term time frame charts out there and see what but the daily says right now you are at a significant resistance point. So on the short-term time frame chart, this might be able to help answer your question. And it's a 15-minute chart out here. This forms a nice Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom, does that this morning, runs up to the breakdown level at 624.18, forms a TD9 count top that is still in place out here. If price can clear 621.18, then you should see a move to 650.96. Now, whether it does it by tomorrow or not, I don't know. But if price is unable to clear 621.18, that answers your question that is not a likely outcome. Price is below its oscillator and change line, and it looks like below the bottom of its 15-minute profile, and that could suggest a move all the way back to 578.95 out there. The bar is not complete, so I can't, and the bar is still open. It's not complete. And the 30-minute chart says it might find support at about 606. So it's the 15-minute resistance level that you're going to want to watch that's going to help you to answer that question, David. And so I do hope that, and as well as the daily time frame, knowing that you're up at that resistance level of that oscillator and change line. So I hope that helps you out. Thanks so much for writing in. The next question coming in from John O. John wants to take a look at ticker symbol MU. That is Micron. And John says he's long Micron at 71.75. It's really acted odd since earnings 2 weeks ago. Do the charts show a move to the 75 to 80 area, which is where he's got a target? So what you're dealing with here, you've got a TD9 count bottom that's completing today. Bar number 8 is the bottom of that pattern. This bottom with a TD9 count back on March 15. If price can clear its red oscillator and change line, that is currently printing at 72.89. If price can clear 72.89, then you should see a move up to 75.38. 75.38 is the top of its daily profile. You ask, could this thing get up to the 75 to 80 area? And the answer is yes. But in order to do that, it needs to clear this resistance level, and that is that daily oscillator and change line. If we take a quick peek here at the intraday charts, any kind of signals here that stick out at us? Not a darn thing. So I hope that helps you. I hope that helps answer your question, John O. in Wisconsin. We get back from this break, we've got questions from Rachel M., HD, Eddie. Those are the 3 that we've got so far. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. One of our dinners, Jimmy D, wants to take a look at Manhattan Associates. Ticker symbol there is MANH. And I don't know what you were looking for specifically, but what I've got up on the screen out here, I've got its last 23 years worth of data and its seasonal cycle. And you can see that it's in the time period where it should form a bottom. Like the S&P 500, April is a very strong month here, and October is another strong month. Now, when we take a look at what price is actually doing and what the stock is actually doing, we'll see that it's trading between trendline support and trendline resistance out here. So if you're looking for an entry point, my entry point, you're in a bear structured profile. Prices are below the center of that bear structured profile. I would say the bottom would be your entry point, 128.78 or thereabouts. That would then run right into the bottom of the profile and the rising trend line out there. No idea whether it can break out of this wedge that it's in, but that's what you're looking at. And again, I'd say 128.78 would be the level to be trying to take a look at. We've got a request to take a look at LAC. S&P wants to take a look at this. Question is, will it get to 25? Well, it is below the bottom of its daily profile. The bottom of its daily profile is 32.99. It has found support at the top of its weekly profile, 29.22. Your question was, will it get to 25? The only way it's going to get to 25 is by busting through the top of that weekly profile. And then I would say, no, it won't get to 25. It would get to 27. Now, the reason I would say that is we're above the top of the bear structured weekly profile more than 2 consecutive months. If this is just a counter trend move to the downside, 27.17 is where price should find that support area. From a daily standpoint, I'm going to go over to my other charts. Give me a moment here, the white background charts. And what we'll show you there is another level that price could be targeting. That's at $26.12. That is the TD9 count breakout level. So what do we have? We have wave number 7. That's courtesy of Basil Chapman. Today is Wednesday. I believe Basil is doing a workshop tonight between 4 and 5:30. Everybody should really attend that. Here's wave number 7. That's letter G on my screen. So that's a topping signal. We don't have a bottoming signal out here. So we've got 29.22 to watch. If price can close below that, then maybe you get to 26.12. And 26.12 is the daily breakout level for ticker symbol LAC. That is Lithium Americas out there. I hope that helps you out. Next question coming in by email. This one is from Rachel M. Rachel wants to take a look at ticker symbol NOV. So let's get that fired up on the 8-panel charts out here. And NOV is what? NOV is Novink. Okay, that helps us out a lot. The question reads like this. I'm currently long the stock and have been holding it since November of last year. I'm doing covered call strategy on it. Have 100 in case off the money. I do the calls. Okay, seems to have a consolidating APA. Okay, so that's just some information, Rachel, in North Carolina. Let's take a look at what NOV is doing. And right now, it is just consolidated. It has been trading sideways, which in essence what your email was referring to. You can even see it on the white background charts out here, just a sideways movement along the daily time frame. And key support has held. First, it was the top of the profile. That was back in the March 14th to April 4th time frame. Then a new profile forms above it, which is a bullish signal. And price is held the bottom, which is 19.19. I don't have any kind of other really great signals out here. The monthly's got a nice TD9 count. A Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom out here. No real topping signal. The weekly looks pretty good. So it's just when I say pretty good, the reason I said pretty good is because price was able to clear both a TD9 count top that failed and clear its TD9 count breakdown resistance at 1783. So you're just going to have to sit through this consolidation period is what I would say out here. And if you can get a close above 2039, then you'd be looking at a move to 2143, 2144, which is the top of that weekly profile. And that's the level, Rachel, that price really needs to clear. But I don't have any signals here to suggest that you sell that position. You're just inside one of those consolidations, and oftentimes they can last much longer than most certainly you would like. Next question coming in from HD. He wants to take a look at Newmont. I think there were a couple others that you had listed there. Rachel, but I've got a number of questions here, and I want to make sure I can get to all of them. So HD writes in, he wants to take a look at Newmont Mining. He also wants to take a look at B2. So the same here, HD. If we have more time, we'll come back and we'll take a look at that as well. So I want to make sure I get to all the questions. And so we take a look at Newmont Mining. Newmont Mining is looks like it is attempting to negate its TD9 count on a weekly basis. And that would be a very strong move. Now, look, it's still in wave number 7. That is letter G, or potential letter G out here, top. But negating, if you can get it close above last week's high, which was 83.72, the weekly chart is muy bueno out there and says we continue to move higher. Prices above the top of the daily profile, no topping signal inside the Newmont Mining. That suggests it wants to move higher. The monthly chart, no topping signal, only bar number 5. That says it wants to move higher. So look, Newmont Mining HD looks good. If you're in it, stay in it to win it out there. Robert H. writes in. Robert says, hey, could you look at ACB, looking at an entry? Your entry is right here, right now. How do I know that? I don't. Well, actually, I do. And so we're going to go take a look at ACB. That is Aurora Cannabis out here. So waiting for that to populate. My recollection is it's got a TD9 count bottom, but I could be wrong on that. But it's got some battles up ahead. And so let's let this populate. So when we take a look at its weekly, let's look at the daily time frame. I take that back. So here's what ACB has and what it doesn't have. So ACB, let's pull this back a bit. It forms a nice Rhodes momentum indicator bottom back here on the trade day of March 16th. Makes a move higher, runs up towards TD9 count breakdown resistance at 472, moves lower. We don't have I have a buy the D point. I've got a Gartley buy pattern. So yeah, here's your A point for your A to B equals CD would look something like this. That'd be my A to B, and I'm just going to go ahead and move this. So that would be your C to D. And so you've got that bullish engulfing candle a couple of days ago. So you do have a bottoming pattern out here. And prices above its red oscillator and change line, which is 362. So yeah, if you're looking to enter, then I'd say now is the time. Now on an intraday basis, what do we have out here? Not much. So nothing here that suggests not taking the trade. And your stop will need to be below, I'd say, the breakout level. That's at 318. So with regard to Aurora Cannabis, I'm going to help Robert out here real quickly. Just give him one figure, ACB, and that's going to be the average true range of the last 10 days. And for ACB, that level is 29 cents. So here's what I do, Robert. I take 29 cents, I multiply times 1.618. Now we know what our stop is. I'd take 1% of my working capital. Let's say if it's $10,000, that would be $100. So I take $100 and I would divide it by that 29 times 1.618. I don't know what that it comes out to, about 45 cents, something like that. And that'll tell you the number of shares that you would buy. So I hope that helps you out with regard to Aurora Cannabis. And Robert, thanks for taking the time to write in. LB writes in, and LB wants to take a look at CTRM. So I think we're going to have just enough time to get these fired up on our screen out here. Let's go see what CTRM is. Tell you what we can do. We can answer. We can read the question. Can you please do your analysis? Yep. You're in at $1.74, and you're looking to hold for a longer-term time period. And this is traded above the top of its daily, above the top of its weekly profile out there. Your next area of resistance is going to be the bottom of that monthly profile. That's at $2.96. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll continue looking at CTRM. Pastor Maritime Inc. We'll get back to this quick.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We're taking a look at Castor Maritime, and on the trading day out here, this is for Lee, on the trading day of March 30th, Lee, that was a TD9 count top. And today, price is taking out that level. What I mean is it looks like we're going to get a close above that. So it's negated that sell signal. This looks bullish. No other topping signal on a daily basis. There's an A to B equals CD to the upside. That would take us to a price level. The initial price projection would be 242. If you look at the weekly time frame chart, I know it's hard to make out, but 250 is its TD9 count breakdown level. It looks to me like that's where price is headed to. And if you can close above 250, that's going to give you your signal to hold this for a much longer time period, because price should then make its way over time up to the 475 level. So LB, thanks so much for writing in. I hope that helps you. Helps you out. And best of luck to you with Castor Maritime. Mike M writes in. This is Mike M from Portugal. And Mike says, please take a look at Apple. So let's get the Apple one up here. I know that Apple is dealing with, or was dealing with, the bottom of its daily profile. And if it can get inside that, then, because it does have a TD9 count. So please look at Apple. Looks like it's back alive. You're looking for the daily TAS value. And so let's get that up here. So with regard to Apple, AAPL again, is the ticker symbol. The bottom of its daily profile is 170.79. Which has been hit and it's been rejected. You can see the TD9 count bottom. That's completing. It had a TD9 count top, and now it's got a TD9 count bottom. So your battleground, let's pull this back just a tad here, Mike, is the bottom of that profile. Above that, your next battleground would be its green oscillator and change line. That's where you want to see price close above it. And that is at 171.57. So you had the bottom of the box at 170.79. That is correct. 171.57 would be a battleground, 175.20, 178.49, and then 179.61. 179.61 is the top of the profile. 178.49 was its TD9 count breakdown resistance area. So Apple has bottomed, but the question is, can it get into these resistance zone and start taking on the defense? And I don't know the answer to that. Is there anything else out here on the Apple chart we need to be aware of? 30-minute chart formed a TD9 count top. Its oscillator and change line change colors. Price in that oscillator and change line should test each other. That is currently printed at 169.05, price at 170.08. What I would be doing, Mike, I'd be watching the 30-minute chart. You may get a signal here. If price tests and rejects that, you should then see the Apple continue to move higher, the NASDAQ move higher, probably the rest of the markets move higher. If Apple closes below 169.05, that's a 30-minute oscillator and change line, then price is likely to pull back to 167.69 or 166.77 out there. So that's what I see when I take a look at Apple. Mike, thanks so much for taking the time to write in, and enjoy the scenery where you are at. Next question is coming in from Eddie, and he wanted to take a look at the chart on NVIDIA. So let's get that up here. And then Eddie would like me, or I'm going to continue to answer some additional questions that Eddie has posed over the last couple of days. Just they've come in late in the show, and we haven't had a chance to really look at them. But his question was yesterday the day after a TD9 count bar for NVIDIA? So the daily, the answer is yes when it comes to NVIDIA. So here are the charts for NVIDIA. Nice TD9 count bottom on the daily time frame. Price should run up to its oscillator and change line. That's currently printed at 242.35. I'm not saying that's exactly where price goes, because that number will change as price moves up and down, but that is your target area. On a 195-minute chart, price pulled back to a breakout level, which is held. You'd really like to see this close above 229.09. That's its oscillator and change line to suggest that price will make its way to the 242 level. 9-count bottom on the 130. Rhodes momentum indicator bottom on the 65. So that's what we take a look at when we take a look at NVIDIA. So to answer your specific question, yes, there is a valid TD9 count bottom, and you wanted me to take a look at Apple too. So we don't have to do that. We got that knocked out. And the cool thing is, Stevie has knocked out all the questions that have come in by email, other than the second or third request out there. And so that's a beautiful thing. I think I've also gotten to everything inside the den. So now let's go back to a couple of questions that had come in. Let's try to clear up some fallacies out here. First fallacy is that if the U.S. dollar index goes up, gold is going to go lower. Second fallacy, if the U.S. dollar index goes up, the S&P 500 or the U.S. stock markets are going to croak. Now, anyone that would say that would not look at a chart, and that would just be an emotional feeling or a belief out there. Now, these are monthly time frame. And I'm not talking about knee-jerk reactions. You know, they raise interest rates, the market pulls back, everybody believes it's because interest rates are rising. I didn't cover that one because you and I have covered that enough times where we know that is a bunch of BS before Steve shared with you those charts that show that every instance when interest rates rise, so too does the S&P 500, the stock markets out here. So the center chart here is U.S. dollar index. The U.S. dollar index bottomed in 2011. That is that yellow line. This is on a closing basis, so it's not the bottom tick, but it's on the closing basis from back in April of 2011, 73.03. Now, I've marked that exact point in time on the bottom chart, which is gold. We can see that gold is trading above that level. How does that work? With the U.S. dollar index, which has been doing nothing but rising since 2011, and the S&P 500 as well. So here is our factor fiction. These are the facts. Whatever anybody else tells you is a bunch of fiction. It just doesn't make sense when we take a look at the actual charts out there. Now, why is that important? Well, the U.S. dollar index is going to continue to rise out here. Then that could set up a really bad situation here for the euro. Now, the euro represents like 56%, I believe, of the U.S. dollar index out there. So there's the other 5 currencies that are going to have an impact on the U.S. dollar as well. But it's the euro that we really focus on. And I've given out, I did an update on Monday during Tom's show. I did it with Basil. I threw out some levels that the S&P 500 could target. I didn't say when they would hit those levels. Those were horizontal trading range levels out there. And those are much higher than where we're trading right now. And a real clue that that is a likely outcome, and again, you take a look at this chart here. We've discussed this many times before. Back in the 2000 bubble out there that they call the dot-com bubble, what ran that up wasn't the dot-commers. It was the fact that capital was fleeing Europe, as it has been since 2008. And it's really taken deep dives. Is the euro out there, or capital fleeing Europe? The first real significant move was back in June of 2014 when the ECB went to negative interest rates. And that's what's got them in a real pickle and a real jam, and there is no way out of it. I've got it marked. You can see what happened. And here, then we can take a look at when Russia invaded the UK. That is marked as well. So we've got both the bottom of the S&P 500 as well as what the euro is doing out here. Again, it's a monthly time frame chart that we're looking at. And so, Eddie, if price closes below 105, this is not the low of, again, this is a line chart. This is a closing basis. And if price were to close below 105, then we've got nothing to stop it from getting back to the lows of 2000 in the euro out there. And if that happens, what we should get is a slingshot move to the upside inside the S&P 500. Folks, we cannot just think U.S. centric. We cannot just think in terms of U.S. Well, you can think whatever you want out there. But what's really important here is what is the global flow of capital doing? And with interest rates rising, you think capital is going to stay in emerging markets? Heavens to Betsy, no. That comes to the U.S. European capital already coming to the U.S. out here. So these are what we want to watch for out here, and we're going to watch that $5 level inside of the euro. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Be right back.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
folks. You got the Dow up 231, S&P 32, NASDAQ 100, 194. Percentage-wise, leading the charge out there. It's a transports. They're up 1 7/10%, 241 points. We're looking at the 30-minute time frame charts for the equity future contracts out here. So the NQ shows a TD9 count top that could form, but right now price is trading below the close of bar number 5. So this is going to disappear out here. So at least I don't know where price is going to be in the next 6 minutes, but right now it's showing a TD9 count top. That's not going to form. Price did find resistance at that 14,202 level, the TD9 count breakdown level. That's what you want to watch. To the downside, you're going to watch the 14,115 area. That oscillator and change line change colors. If price tests and holds that line, bounces off of that, and then takes out the 14,202, then you have your answer with regard to what the markets are going to do going into the close, or you should have your signal there. The Russell 2000 had a TD9 count top that formed yesterday afternoon at about 11 o'clock, 10:30. And we have a TD9 count top that's likely to form right now as we come into the 2 o'clock time session, because as long as price closes above 2011 in the next 4 minutes, near 2015. So odds favor it's going to. So here in the Russell 2000, watch its move back to its oscillator and change line, 2010. If price gets below that, then watch 2002. Below that, 1990 and 1987. What else do we want to take a look at? The 30-minute Dow equity future contract may also form, or it looks like it will form, a TD9 count top. Its oscillator and change line change color. So that suggests that price will come back and test the 34,274 level. If price bounces off of that, closes above 34,508, that says markets are going to continue to move higher into the close. And if we look at the ES Mini out here, no signal that we've got right now, other than perhaps price going to pull back, test that oscillator and change line. That's in the 44.14 to 44.17 range out there. So that's today's show, folks. Thanks so much for joining us as always. Thanks for all the questions. Brent, thanks for the call out there. And everybody stay tuned, because your favorite polar bear, he is certainly my favorite polar bear, and that's David White. He's up next. And Tom O'Brien, he'll take us on home. So have a wonderful Wednesday, folks. I'll see you on terrific Thursday.